We're off on a trip of a lifetime to Albania and Uzbekistan and lots of places that aren't in between. London is a very popular place to be. In fact, there are 10 million people that choose to live here, and there are a further 30 million people that want to visit it every year. Including in that number are us two Kiwis from little old New Zealand. So this place heaves with people. I know there are big ticket places that everyone wants to go to, but there are lots of other quirky little places that I'm keen to investigate as well. We only have 48 hours in this place, so we have to be fast and mobile. So we did a lot of walking, and it's amazing what you can cover in combination with the metro. So, this episode is all about our wanderings in London. Sit back and relax, grab some mushy peas and a pint of warm beer, and enjoy our wanderings in London. Nice spot. Still on the magazine stands. Having left the heat of Portugal, we arrived at 2 o'clock in the morning to the English summer. 2 o'clock in the morning in Luton. Woohoo! Hyde Park. Lots of fresh air here. In fact, 350 acres of fresh air, which means heaps of people wandering around aimlessly, enjoying a break in the weather. And it's been a park for almost 500 years. One of the places we wanted to go to was the Princess Diana Memorial, and to be honest, it wasn't what I imagined, but it was pretty good. It's an endless ring of water flowing downhill, creating ripples as it goes. It looks like fun for the kids, and it's a reflective place for adults. Nice. On our last night there was a Bruce Springsteen concert in Hyde Park. It actually sold out months ago, so we couldn't get in. But there were many people gathered outside listening, even though we couldn't see the stage or any of the screens. Thanks, Bruce. The Wellington Arch. One of the things that took our interest was the New Zealand War Memorial, dedicated to the memory of the New Zealand servicemen that lost their lives in the First and Second World War. It is very nearby the Australian War Memorial and other memorials to people who lost their lives fighting for their country. Very poignant. Wikipedia says this place is the administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. So basically, it's the King's head office. It is also apparently only the 14th largest palace in the world, but probably the most well known. This is a magnet for tourists, all poking their cameras through the fence getting that shot. It's just the thing you do. It's famous all over social media. It's a must-do. Buckingham Palace. Unfortunately, no royal poked their head out the window when I was there, so I was a bit gutted. This is a must-go-to spot. Trafalgar Square is considered the geographical centre of London, with all distances in the city being measured according to their distance from Charing Cross.
We love it, love it, love it. We love it either.
So here we are in Covent Gardens, and you've got to ask yourself, where's the garden? Lovely spot. Lots of history here dating back to the Romans 2,000 years ago. Not a lot of gardens to see, just a few pots here and there, but certainly the place to be for a meal and to watch the tennis, apparently. Found it. This play has been running for 70 years. We went to performance number 29,199, which is some kind of world record. It's an Agatha Christie written crime play with a good twist. You're not allowed to take video or photos, and you're not allowed to tell anyone who did it. But it is something almost compulsory to do in London, so give it a go. There are 7 streets that converge at 7 dials, making it one complicated roundabout. The British love their pillars. In the middle of the roundabout is a column bearing 6 sundials. In the 1800s, this was apparently the centre of one of the most notorious slums in London, but it has become the place to be these days. This wall is about 1,800 years old. Eesh. The Tower of London has a rich history and would be well worth the £33 ticket price, but I wasn't keen to stand in the long queues and deal with the huge crowds. Perhaps next time. Cool looking building, visible from multiple points in London. This is another one of those big iconic places to go and snap some photos. We took the option to climb up the stairs and walk across the top of the bridge. It's done really well and is interesting for adults and kids alike. The engineering dating back to the Victorian era that they used to draw the bridge is really impressive. There is a lot of information to digest on how they actually built the Tower Bridge back in the 1800s, and at the end of it, I feel reasonably confident I could build the same bridge in my backyard if I wanted to. We're in the Inception movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's curious. By law, a bundle of hay has to be suspended from the bridge when work is happening. It's a good English law. Hey, so I put my hand in it and it didn't dissolve, thankfully. By international standards, this isn't a huge river, but it is certainly an important one. Without it, London, one of the most important cities in the world, wouldn't exist. So, yeah, pretty cool. This church was bombed in World War II, but never rebuilt. Instead, it was turned into a garden and is now a wonderful place to eat your sandwiches at lunchtime and to get that perfect Instagram shot. Nice. I didn't know anything about this place, but the Romans first built their market here and an enormous basilica almost 2,000 years ago.
Dates back 2,000 years.
And it has held an important place in London's development ever since.
I did not know that.
It is now the place to be for office workers to have their lunch or after work drinks.
So it was a Roman basilica, now it's a Pizza Express. Both Italian, I guess.
This was built in remembrance of the Great Fire of London in 1666. It's very close to Pudding Lane where the fire started in a bakery. Work on the monument started 5 years later and it's pretty impressive. You can climb the monument for great views at the top.
Gherkin. Solar panels in the middle of London. That's wishful thinking.
There was a good view of a Korean fried chicken stall at the bottom of the monument, so that's what we had for lunch.
So the Great Fire of London started right here, really. Pudding Lane in a bakery, 1666. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
There have been numerous bridges crossing the river at this point over the last 2,000 years, but the latest version only dates back to 1973. It didn't look like it was falling down to me.
So fix it, dear Liza.
Okay, icon time. This is the site of royal weddings and coronations and all sorts of historical events. We attended an evensong service in the cathedral to soak up the ambience of the place. Must do.
The oldest tea shop in London,
Okay, seems a bit weird to talk about a tea shop,
1706.
but this is one that dates back to the early 1700s, and it really impressed Helen, who is an avid tea drinker. I'm a Coca-Cola man myself. Something I didn't really know until I did my research after the event was that Big Ben is only the name of the bell. The actual tower's name is Elizabeth Tower, renamed in 2012 to mark the Diamond Jubilee of Elizabeth II. But, let's just call it Big Ben, eh? Uncle Google says this is Europe's tallest cantilevered observation wheel and the most popular paid tourist attraction in the United Kingdom, with over 3 million visitors annually. But that means if there are 50 million tourists annually to London, then only 6% of them do it. Perhaps they need to make it go around faster so more people can get on it. Just a thought. This is a public mural painted by volunteers to remember the victims of the COVID-19 pandemic in the UK. There are around 220,000 hand-painted red hearts, one for each of the casualties of the pandemic in the UK who died with COVID-19 on their death certificate. While we were walking down here, a military procession was just starting up. Nice timing. It's something the British do very well, wearing funny hats and marching in lines.
John! Last punch! On pint! Cover! On by the center! Quick! March!
Carnaby Street. And the men's toilet.
I vaguely knew of Carnaby Street as a place to be in the 60s, and that it had something to do with Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. So, good to walk down here early one morning.
Welcome to Carnaby. Leicester Square.
This was a bit of a surprise to me. This place had a number of really cool little statues dedicated
Mary
to
Poppins.
some great literary characters from
It's
days
Harry
gone
Potter.
by.
Indiana Jones. My man, William Shakespeare. Charlie Chaplin. Paddington Bear. Mr. Bean. London Chinatown.
Who doesn't like Chinatown? Unfortunately, no time to come back for a dinner. Dang it. Okay, so, the home of cricket. There's no way I could afford a day at the cricket. I understand tickets to the recent Ashes test match were £150 for a single day, well out of my league, but I poked my head around the corner for a few cheeky snaps. This spot has been photographed a million times, and the morning we were there was no exception. Cars patiently waiting for stupid tourists like me to walk across and then back and then walk over again. What surprised me was that there were a fair number of young people, far too young to remember the heyday of the Beatles. Hey, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.